something else that happened on the border while we were there that you may find very interesting. On April 6th, a group of U.S. Border Watch members and the Texas Minutemen were moving into the Sierra Blanca mountain area. That area is the area that was made famous with the military incursions into this country that the government told us had happened 219 times over 10 years. It happens 219 times in a single year, if not more. This problem has been going on along the border for a number of years. You can go down there and check with the local law enforcement agencies who will tell you that. While we were traveling along the levee going into this area, with the permission of the International Boundary and Water Commission, which owns the levee, and with the escort of the United States Border Patrol, we had about 6 vehicles. The individuals in these vehicles are highly trained individuals and very well armed. We were stopped by members of the Department of Homeland Security and detained for more than an hour and a half, trying to determine if we were trespassing on government property, that I had a written permission from the International Boundaries Commission to be there. While these Department of Homeland Security agents detained us, within 100 yards of where we were being detained, and the gentlemen that detained us were nice officers. They were following orders, but the orders came from way, way up in the northeast called Washington. There were individuals entering this country in plain view of those agents. Their orders were to detain us, not illegal immigrants entering the country. The guys that were there themselves, in a way, were embarrassed, because here they were detaining American citizens driving down a levee road that is open to the public, and at the same time they were there with us, illegal immigrants stream across the border. They are not fearful of our law enforcement agencies, and they are not fearful of the Border Patrol, because they know that nothing's going to happen to them. Why they kept us from going into that area on that day, they gave us about 6 different reasons, and they finally settled on the one that because we had an international news crew with us from the country of Finland, that was a national security issue. The reporter and the newsman from Finland told them that they were more than welcome to search them and their vehicle to make sure they wouldn't try to sneak something out of the country since we were inside the United States. Of course, they declined that, and after an hour and a half, they instructed us that we would follow them off the border and back to Highway 20. 2 days later, after complaining to Washington and several other people and a number of senators, we were granted permission to return, and we did. When we did, we went down to the region where all these incursions take place, and this is something that happens on a regular basis. We could see from our positions in the United States, people just across the border, 50 yards away, carrying automatic weapons, carrying packs, carrying bags of things, and a number of vehicles were right there on the border across the way. There was no doubt these individuals were waiting to bring shipments of something across the border. More likely in that area it was drugs. But even though the Department of Homeland Security detained us, we scared the hell out of some people in the Sierra Blanca Mountains because they thought they were under an attack. When you got 5 vehicles from us and 2 from the Border Patrol and 6 others from the Department of Homeland Security, everybody getting out of their vehicles there, it was a sight along the Sierra Mountains. With long-range lenses, we could see that people were scrambling among the mountains. They were moving equipment. People were arriving. We scared them pretty bad over there, so I recommended to the Department of Homeland Security that we do this on a regular basis. We may not do anything to them in their country, but we can certainly make them relocate some of the logistical stuff. And while we were there and watching all these people move around, there were members of the Mexican Army assisting them in moving their equipment around. So there is no doubt in my mind, or in the minds of many Americans, that the United States federal government and the government of Mexico knows exactly what's happening. So I ask that each one of y'all continue doing y'all's rallies as y'all are and come out and visit. Now I'm going to bring another speaker forward.